So you've done it. After decades of hard work, you're finally ready to claim your Social Security benefits. You go online, you fill out the forms, you hit that submit button, and then what? Crickets. It's the waiting game. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what really happens between applying for Social Security and actually getting that first payment.
All right, so this is the big question, isn't it? It's on every single new retiree's mind. When does my first check really show up? It's a huge deal for your budget, and honestly, the answer is a little more complicated than most people realize. So let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, let's map out the real timeline for your application. We're going to walk through every single step, from the second you click submit to the moment that money finally hits your bank account.
So let's take a look at what's going on behind the scenes. See, it's not just one big, mysterious black hole of waiting. For the first 2 to 6 weeks, the Social Security Administration, the SSA, is basically doing its homework. They're verifying your work history, checking your identity, making sure all the numbers add up. Once they've got all that sorted, they take another week or two to calculate your exact benefit amount. And it's only after all those boxes are ticked that your first payment is actually scheduled and sent out.
So when you add it all up, you're looking at a total wait time of about 4 to 8 weeks. That's right, 4 to 8 weeks after you submit your application. That's a 1 to 2 month gap in income that you really need to be ready for. Knowing this number up front is honestly the key to a smooth start to retirement without all that unexpected financial stress.
But, of course, that 4 to 8 week timeline, that's if everything goes perfectly. So, what about the speed bumps? The common things that can slow the whole process down. It's great to know the average wait, but it's even better to know what can trip you up. Let's look at the pitfalls that can delay that first payment.
So why would your payment get stuck? Well, a lot of the time, it's something surprisingly simple, like a missing document or even just a typo on the application. Or maybe there's a mismatch in your earnings record, like a job from 20 years ago didn't report your income correctly. That'll trigger a manual review, and that, you guessed it, takes time. A huge one, and this one is totally preventable, is applying after you've already stopped working. Then the SSA is just playing catch-up. And sometimes, hey, it's just bad timing. You might apply when they're totally swamped with other applications. And of course, more complex cases, like applying for spousal benefits, well, they just naturally take a bit longer.
All right, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's talk about solutions. How do you get in the fast lane and get your money sooner rather than later? The good news is, you actually have a lot more control over this than you think.
Here is your game plan, your checklist for staying in that fast lane. Rule number 1, and we're going to say this again, is to apply at least 3 months before you want those payments to start. But even before you do that, go on the SSA website and check your earnings record for mistakes. It's so much easier to fix them now. When you do apply, have all your documents ready to go, your birth certificate, tax forms, the whole shebang. And please opt for direct deposit. Waiting on a paper check can easily add another week to your wait. And finally, you've got to be your own advocate. If you hit that 8-week mark and you've heard nothing, it's time to pick up the phone and politely check in.
So this brings us to a really critical question. How do you manage your money during that 1 to 2 month wait? That income gap can be seriously stressful if you're not ready for it. And this is exactly where a bigger financial plan, one that looks beyond just Social Security, becomes absolutely essential.
To make sure you have a solid safety net, it's just smart to have other streams of income planned out. Some folks use tools like annuities to create a guaranteed monthly paycheck, which is perfect for bridging this initial gap and giving you stability for the long haul. And a full plan might also include things like life insurance to protect your spouse, or long-term care coverage for health costs down the road that Social Security just won't cover. The whole goal here is to build a financial cushion so that this temporary wait for your first check is no big deal.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. With all this in mind, what is your next move? What is the single most important thing you need to do to make sure that first payment shows up right on time?
If you take only one thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. The most crucial step you can take is to apply at least 3 months before you want your payments to begin. That one simple action is your absolute best defense against delays and financial headaches.
Look, figuring out the Social Security timeline and planning for that income gap can feel like a lot. We get it, but you don't have to do it all by yourself. If you'd like some help putting together a strategy that makes sure your Social Security fits perfectly with your overall retirement plan, we're here for you at the Annuity Expert. Our advice and our services are always 100% free. Just give us a call at 770-755-1565 or check us out online at annuityexpertadvice.com to get the conversation started. We're here to help you plan for a retirement that's secure and, most importantly, stress-free.